Hello everybody, it's me GhostCritic back once again on a Friday to review some comics for you. You saw them on Wednesday, now here is my opinions of them. Before I kick off with the 5 books I picked up this week, I want to give out another shout out. This time, and I can't believe I've not seen his channel before, he's kept this one very quiet. I don't know why, because he's done a lot of videos and he's a very good comic book reviewer, YouTuber. If you like anything Batman related, this will be the channel you should be going to. His name is Joshua Hayes. I'll put a link to his channel in the description bar below. Please do him the courtesy of going to go and have a look at his channel, watch a video or two. He has some very, clear opinions about what's going on in the Bat universe. He collects pretty much, I think, every single Bat-related title at the moment, and he reviews, like, there's a video for each issue. He doesn't do like I do, like a whole mess of comics and little snippets of what I think. He really goes in depth. He knows his Bat stuff, and really a great reviewer. So please go and check him out. If you like it, subscribe to his channel and give his videos a big thumbs up. So this week in comics for GhostCritic, Green Lantern issue 28. Now, yes, this came out last week, but for whatever reason, it didn't get to the UK until this week. And I had a chance to listen to everyone else's, or like a few other people's, opinions of Green Lantern. And I'm a bit mystified, because I heard a lot of good things about it, and my hopes were high. This coming Wednesday, I'm dropping this. I had such a rough time going through the New 52's version of Green Lantern with Jeff Johns. It was up and down. It didn't really know where it's going. There was no highlight stories for me. It just kind of treaded along. And I thought, we'll get to the end of it, we'll get to the end of it, he'll get better, we'll have those big events like we had pre-52, like Blackest Night, which was amazing, one of the best stuff I've read from Jeff Johns, well, recently anyway. And then Robert Venditti is on the book now, and he's writing, and I thought, great, someone different will get hopefully better stories. This isn't necessarily better. I feel with Venditti he keeps writing himself into all these corners where he can't go anywhere with them. From the top of the shop, it's this finite reservoir of power for the rings. Worst idea ever. I hope they get rid of that. Well, I'm not going to know because I'm dropping it. I've decided. I'm firm on this. But they need to get rid of that storyline, however they do it. 2, they need to bring back the Guardians. Okay, at the end of Jeff Johns' run, the most recent Guardians were effed up beyond all recognition and deserve to be got rid of. But we have those original Guardians, and they need to come back in because Hal is not doing a good job as leader of the Green Lanterns. He's making bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. Now we've got the whole universe is against the Green Lanterns because of the kind of shapeshifter who sent out that intergalactic message looking like Hal, which has turned everyone against the Green Lanterns. This whole Green Lanterns policing the use of the light, their light rings, when in practically every page a Green Lantern is using their ring unnecessarily. It's just a joke. I couldn't even finish this side of the book, and I just, after not even bothering with that, I couldn't even have the energy to flip it over and read the Red Lantern side of it. So, not a happy Benny. Green Lantern has always been a firm favourite of mine, but it's going. It's gone. Astro City 9. And to be honest, I was a bit disappointed with this issue. We're not doing very well so far, are we? It's quite ironic, really, because at the beginning of this, I do believe I said that I was looking forward to a more lengthier, meatier storyline to get my teeth into. I miss those short, done-in-one issue stories. I think this was an unnecessary issue. And is treading over ground we've already gone over, already established, and just added the backstory of this Council of Nike. So I don't really think this needed to be a 4-parter. I mean, there is a lot going on in here, but to be honest, doesn't really push anything forward than what was in the last issue. Yes, you have Winged Victory, and she's battling the Iron Legion that came out of the kind of portal at the end of last issue. So we've got that big battle going on. The Eagle police force, whatever they are kind of getting everyone out of the Samothrace complex. And they come across the young boy who escapes from them because he doesn't want to be blamed, because he partly feels he's to blame for all this happening. The Confessor and Samaritan, along with the Confessor's kind of gang, the choir gang, choir boys, they are looking into, you know, who's behind all this, who's putting up these women to say all these, you know, awful things about a Winged Victory. And that was the kind of the only interesting little nugget that kind of happened in there, because every time they approached one of these women to question them, they seemed to kind of dissolve into thin air. It looked like they were just like going into dust, but there's just absolutely nothing left there, as if they've been like maybe transported elsewhere. Oh, and of course Winged Victory meets up with one of the Council of the Nike. I presume that's what it's pronounced as. It makes me giggle every time, I'm sorry. I'm childish like that. And we get the backstory of this member of the council, and this storyline has had a very strong feminist arc going through it, which is not a bad thing. I'm not criticising it. It was a little heavy-handed in here, the whole battle with Winged Victory and all of Legion of, what were they called? Legion of Steel. Steel Legion. Iron Legion! Why they all had to be men, I don't know, just to show the contrast that, you know, we have all these men and it doesn't matter how big their tanks and ships are, a woman, you know, can just be as strong, if not stronger. It felt a touch heavy-handed. We've already established that Winged Victory is a kind of saviour to wayward women, helping them build shattered lives, get them, you know, being independent, and then letting them, not letting them, but, you know, sending them back into the world stronger than they came into her complexes. And apart from that, it was a pretty average issue for Astro City. Obviously the next part is the final part of the story arc, so something will culminate, something will climax. Let's hope it gets better. Wolverine and the X-Men, issue 41, and we get to the penultimate issue, and this is very much the Toad-centric story. And Wolverine and the teachers are sacking Toad as the janitor of the new school due to his participation and his involvement in the Hellfire Academy. There are, you know, Wolverine coming out with, you know, he's a baddie, he will always be a baddie. However long he stays, you know, good, he will always turn back and screw things up for himself and those around him. And Aaron does such a great job in making you feel sympathy for Toad. You are not on Wolverine's side here at all. And then doubled onto that, you get his heartbreak over Husk. Now, I don't know how long this kind of new mutation or further mutation of Husk has been, but apparently now every time Husk sheds her skin, it also now changes her mind. So she may not or will not always remember what she'd done previous to having shed her skin. So of course she doesn't have any idea about the kind of relationship that herself and Toad had had. But she's willing to give him a chance. It is all about kind of hope and second chances at the beginning of this book, about kind of doing the right thing. Can you redeem yourself? Are you always going to be perpetually good or perpetually evil? But it's not all kind of emotions and heartbreak. There is like a big action in here as well, with the remaining Hellfire Academy children, Max and Manuel, who are causing havoc in Salem Center. So it's off with the X-Men into the fray to sort those two out. But Toad intervenes, and could he be the one to bring the two little rapscallions down? There is quite the twist, and I hate Aaron for doing that. He made me feel so sad for Toad, and then he goes and does that. What does he do? You have to read it to find out. One more issue to go. It's graduation day at the Academy. If you've seen the cover for issue 42, it's kind of a homage to the Days of Future Past X-Men story, and it looks fun. So look forward to the final issue before it gets renumbered and a new creative team. Issue 20 of Fatale from Image Comics came out this week. My God, this book has become so brutal, both, you know, emotionally and physically. Oh. Right. We basically begin with Josephine. She's on the run. She's trying to get away, obviously, from the Cthulhu guys, the priests in the robes, etc. And we get another kind of delve into her mind and her past especially, and how she, you know, she realises how screwed up these powers of hers really are, but she has to use them in order to survive. However terrible and distraught she leaves the wake of men behind her, if she wants to survive, she has to use these powers. And we get this horrific kind of flashbacks about the times she's tried to commit suicide, where she's got to that point where she, you know, she can't handle this power anymore, and so she's tried to, you know, top herself. Unfortunately, she can't. She can't die. There is this sense of immortality about Josephine, and that kind of connects to those one-off issues that we had in between story arcs, where we had kind of a Josephine from much older times. So you do get this kind of bitter sympathy for her, that she knows what her powers can do, even to the point where there's one of the priest guys, because like every time she uses this power, the priest Roby guys can sense where she is, and they'll obviously follow her. And there is a point in the book where this guy in the robe pulls alongside her in the car and tries to grab her. She makes short work of him. If I remember right, she shoots the guy, because she does a lot of shooting in this issue. But when she gets in the car, there is a young boy behind in the back seat, and even the boy is turned on by her. It's quite sick and perverted, but you know, she clearly can't help herself in these instances. She has no control where she can switch it on and switch it off. So for that, you kind of feel sympathy for her. There's the Nelson and Nick. Nelson, our crazed guy who's taken Nick as a hostage and has been trying to lure Josephine by painting Nick with all the kind of satanic looking signs that are meant to signal her to come. It feels as though it's not necessarily, you know, forcing Josephine to come to him. It's more, I think for Josephine, it's a signal. She knows where it is and she can get to it. And again, with the connections in this book, towards the end of it, where she kind of sort of puts Nelson out of his misery. But this is a shocking realisation to Nick that he's seen this before. It's all so connected. Brubaker's done such a great run on this. I've loved this book from start to finish. And it is finishing very soon. What am I going to do without Fatale? 10 grand, issue 7. Straczynski's doing such a great job writing this book, and I hate to be repetitive, but it is the artwork that lets this book down. And I mean, to be honest, I can't see this book lasting further than the story it's telling now. I think this may run maybe 4, maybe 5 more issues, if we're lucky, and kind of just wrap all the loose ends of the story up, and then I think it'll be done. However, this issue, last issue, Joe had released Juhel, the Angel, from his imprisonment, and we have most of this issue is them walking to the gates of hell, and we get the backstory of why the Angel was imprisoned in the first place. Straczynski certainly touches on some big ideas, some big topics. The purpose of heaven and hell, the idea of free will. Is murder always an evil act? And while these are only touched upon, they are pertinent to the main story as a whole, as Joe starts making connections between what this angel is saying and his connections to his girlfriend, is it Laura? And the idea that this has been one huge big setup for with Joe right at the middle. But the reason is why. Like I said, the story is top notch. The artwork is not. And here it is, the last book of the week. It's a Batman issue 28. We have a break from year 0, year. I can never remember which way around it's meant to go. And instead of a story from Batman's past, no, we won't see what's going on in Batman's present. We're going to go to the future. Well, Gotham soon. Yes, this is a kind of precursor. It's a little insight into new weekly, year-long weekly Batman title, Batman Eternal, that actually looks as if it's going to be really good. I thought this was fantastic. I don't know whether it was the change of artist, not seeing Capullo on this book. I mean, he's been there from the start, and seeing a completely different artist. This Dustin Nguyen, with his kind of bold, very slick colouring, bold lines. It's very bright and colourful, or it was just the fact there's some awesome things going on in here. Not to be too spoilery, oops, if you've read it you'll understand why. Where do you begin? Okay, we always knew that Harper Rose was going to be a big part of Batman's life ever since. Was it an annual when she was introduced? I think it was the annual, wasn't it? And you know, there was ideas that she was going to become the new Robin, or maybe she was going to become the new Oracle, but she was certainly going to have a big influence and a big impact and a big part of the Batman universe. Well, Bluebird. Not so keen on the name, but she does appear to be kind of Batman's latest sidekick. She's got the whole kind of Robin attitude. She's got a bit of a Nightwing-esque costume, but she's got all the gadgets, she's got the sarcasm, she's got the one-liners, and this is a sidekick that, you know, could cause quite a lot of friction between herself and Batman. She ain't afraid to use a gun, let's put it that way. And, you know, she's got some anger issues in her. We have the reveal of Catwoman. She now runs Gotham, and something has happened to turn her, not necessarily against Batman, but something certainly has happened between them that has separated them somewhat. There's someone in the Batcave. We only got a silhouette of the back of her, because I do believe it is a her, kind of coordinating everything in the Batcave. It could be someone quite new, because they don't seem to be very well versed in the Bat technology that's in the Batcave. I've read that it might be the Carrie girl from Dark Knight Returns, when they slipped her into the New 52. And then finally, the last page. Should I spoil it? Shall I do a big spoiler? Enough said. I'm actually very much considering this now. I was quite adverse to hearing there was going to be another Batman title. I read up a little bit about it this evening. I had no idea it was going to be just a year-long but weekly series. It's whether my finances can stretch to that. If this issue is in to go by, it looks damn good. I don't care what anyone says. And that's me done for the week. It's another review of comic books over. Thank you all for watching. If this is your first time here, you liked it, and you don't want to miss another one, hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all the latest new subscribers. Very welcome you are too. Make sure if you like this video to give it a big thumbs up, and there's a comment box down below to tell me what you thought of the books I read, the books you read. What should I have read? What shouldn't I have read this week? Clearly Green Lantern. Thank you all for watching. Until next week, bye bye.